What if I told you that history, as we know it, is incomplete? That beneath the ruins of ancient civilizations lie secrets so profound that they could rewrite everything we believe about the past. From lost cities with impossible architecture to mysterious disappearances that defy explanation. These civilizations were far more advanced than we've been led to believe. Did they possess hidden knowledge? Were they wiped out by an unknown force? Or is the truth being deliberately buried? Join me as we uncover the lost secrets of ancient civilizations, secrets that may change how we see the world forever. We are taught that human civilization began around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. But what if that's not the full story? Göbekli Tepe, a site dating back nearly 12,000 years, challenges the very timeline of human history. The Egyptian pyramids continue to baffle architects, and the disappearance of the Indus Valley civilization remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Were these civilizations merely victims of time, or was something more mysterious at play? There are ancient texts, the Vedas, Sumerian tablets, and Egyptian scrolls, that speak of a time when humans had extraordinary abilities, knowledge of the cosmos, and even contact with higher beings. Some believe that great disasters, wars, or even deliberate historical erasures had hidden these truths from us. But what if we could piece together these lost secrets? What if the key to unlocking hidden wisdom, forgotten technology, and even our own origins still exists, buried beneath ancient ruins? Deep in the heart of present-day Pakistan, buried beneath layers of time, lies the once thriving city of Mohenjo-Daro, a place that challenges everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. Built around 2500 BCE, this metropolis was one of the most advanced urban centers of its era, part of the Indus Valley civilization, a civilization so sophisticated that some believe it was thousands of years ahead of its time. But here's the mystery. Mohenjo-Daro was abandoned suddenly and inexplicably. Unlike other great civilizations that fell to war, famine, or natural disasters, Mohenjo-Daro simply ceased to exist. No signs of battle, no evidence of a slow decline, just a city frozen in time, its people gone without a trace. So what happened? Did an unknown catastrophe wipe it out? Or was something far more mysterious at play? When archaeologists first excavated Mohenjo-Daro in 1922, they were stunned by what they found. Unlike other ancient cities, which were chaotic and unplanned, Mohenjo-Daro had a perfectly organized grid system, something that wouldn't be seen again until modern urban planning. The city had multi-story homes, underground drainage, public baths, and even a sanitation system that rivals some modern cities today. The Great Bath at the city's center suggests they understood the importance of hygiene and perhaps even ritual purification. Its streets were paved and lined with brick houses, each equipped with an advanced drainage system, suggesting an incredible level of engineering expertise. For a city built over 4,500 years ago, its level of organization and technology shouldn't have been possible, yet there it was. But if this civilization was so advanced, why did it suddenly vanish? One of the most disturbing discoveries in Mohenjo-Daro was a set of scattered skeletons lying in the streets. Unlike other ancient burial sites, these bodies were not properly buried. It was as if the people had died suddenly, in an instant. Many of the skeletons were found holding hands, lying face down, as if they had been struck by a sudden catastrophe. Even more shocking, some researchers claim that the remains contained unusually high levels of radiation. Certain skeletons showed signs of extreme heat exposure, almost as if they had been hit by an explosion or an intense energy burst. Could this suggest that Mohenjo-Daro was destroyed by something far more advanced than what history tells us? Some theorists have even speculated that an ancient nuclear explosion might have wiped out the city. This may sound impossible until you consider that the ancient Hindu texts, the Mahabharata, describe a horrifying event that sounds eerily similar: a single projectile charged with all the power of the universe. An incandescent column of smoke and flame, as bright as 10,000 suns, rose in its entire splendor. The corpses were so burned as to be unrecognizable. Hair and nails fell out, pottery broke without apparent cause, and the birds turned white. For thousands of years, ancient Egypt has fascinated scholars, historians, and mystery seekers alike. from towering pyramids that defy logic to cryptic hieroglyphs hinting at lost knowledge. Egypt remains one of the greatest enigmas of human history. But what if the truth about this civilization is far more extraordinary than what mainstream history tells us? How did the Great Pyramid of Giza, built over 4,500 years ago, achieve a level of precision that modern engineers still struggle to replicate? Did the ancient Egyptians possess a forgotten technology? And what about the Hall of Records, a rumored underground chamber beneath the Sphinx that some believe holds the lost wisdom of an even older civilization? The Great Pyramid of Giza is not just a tomb. It is a mathematical, astronomical, and architectural masterpiece. The more we study it, the more impossible it seems. Alignment perfection. The Great Pyramid is aligned within 0.05 degrees of true north, something modern builders would struggle to achieve without GPS technology. Massive stone blocks. Some limestone blocks used in its construction weigh over 80 tons, yet were transported hundreds of miles from quarries. How did the Egyptians move them? Impossible precision. The pyramid's base is perfectly level, with less than 2 centimeters of error across its entire foundation, something unheard of in ancient construction. Hidden inner chambers. In 2017, scientists used cosmic ray scans to detect a large hidden void inside the pyramid. What is inside, and why has it remained sealed for millennia? The question remains, how did the Egyptians achieve such impossible engineering feats without modern tools? Some researchers suggest that they may have possessed a lost form of technology, perhaps even an understanding of sound or anti-gravity energy. Could the pyramids have been more than just tombs? Were they power plants, energy transmitters, or even some kind of ancient machines? Inside the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, a strange carving known as the Dendera light bulb has baffled historians. The image appears to depict a large bulb-like object with a filament-like structure inside, connected to what looks like an ancient power source. Some researchers believe this could be evidence that the Egyptians had knowledge of electricity long before it was officially discovered. The Baghdad Battery, a 2,000-year-old clay jar capable of generating an electric charge, proves that ancient civilizations may have experimented with electricity. If this is true, what other technological advancements did they possess? Could their understanding of energy, frequencies, and cosmic forces have been far greater than we imagine? Egyptian legend speaks of a hall of records, a hidden underground chamber beneath the Sphinx, said to contain the forgotten wisdom of an even older civilization, perhaps even Atlantis. In 1997, researchers using ground-penetrating radar discovered large cavities beneath the Sphinx. The Egyptian government has never allowed full excavation, leading to speculation that something important is being concealed. Could this hall of records contain ancient scrolls, lost technology, or secrets about the origins of humanity? What if the history we've been taught is incomplete? What if ancient Egypt wasn't the beginning, but a continuation of an even older, more advanced civilization that came before? The Egyptians were obsessed with the stars, the afterlife, and the gods. But what if their gods weren't just myths? What if they were something more? The pyramids are aligned with the constellation of Orion, which was linked to Osiris, the god of rebirth and cosmic knowledge. Some theories suggest that the pyramids were designed as energy centers, possibly even gateways to higher dimensions or interstellar contact. The ancient texts describe gods who came from the sky. Were they divine beings, extraterrestrials, or survivors from a lost civilization? Cold, ancient Egypt had been a bridge between humanity and something far greater. The Mayan civilization was one of the most advanced societies in ancient history, thriving in Mesoamerica for over 2,000 years. They built massive cities, developed a sophisticated writing system, and had a deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics that still amazes scientists today. But despite their advancements, something unexplainable happened. The great Mayan cities were abandoned, and their civilization vanished without a clear reason. What really happened to the Mayans? Was it war, a natural disaster, or something far more mysterious? The Mayans didn't just observe the stars. They seemed to understand them on a deeper level. Their knowledge of astronomy was so precise that they could predict solar eclipses and planetary movements with stunning accuracy. The Mayan calendar system was far more advanced than the one we use today. It could track celestial cycles thousands of years into the future. They built massive observatories like El Caracol and Chichen Itza, designed to align with key astronomical events. Mayan cities were built in perfect alignment with constellations, suggesting a profound understanding of the universe. But how did a civilization without telescopes develop such a deep knowledge of the cosmos? Did they inherit this knowledge from an even older, lost civilization? Or did they have help from an unknown source? The Mayans reached the height of their power between 250 to 900 CE. Then, without warning, their great cities, Tikal, Kapan, Palenque, and Calakmul, were abandoned. The jungle slowly reclaimed the once thriving temples and pyramids, and the Mayans seemed to disappear overnight. Historians have proposed several theories: massive drought and climate change. Some believe a severe drought wiped out food supplies, forcing people to flee. Warfare and internal conflict. Others suggest that violent wars between Mayan city-states led to total collapse. A deadly plague. There's evidence of sudden population declines, possibly due to a mysterious disease. An astronomical event? Some researchers speculate that the Mayans witnessed a cosmic disaster, such as a comet or solar flare, that led them to abandon their cities. But there's another more mysterious theory. What if the Mayans didn't just disappear, but left intentionally? Some researchers believe the Mayans were keepers of a lost ancient wisdom, one that involved higher consciousness, time cycles, and even interdimensional travel. The Mayan Popol Vuh, sacred text, speaks of a time before time, when their ancestors came from a distant place in the cosmos. Some Mayan artwork depicts figures inside what look like machines or spacecraft, leading to theories about ancient contact with advanced beings. The Mayan long count calendar ended on December 21, 2012, leading many to speculate that the Mayans predicted a great transformation, one that might have taken them to another level of existence. Did the Mayans foresee a great disaster and leave before it happened? Or did they uncover a knowledge so powerful that they decided to retreat from the world, taking their secrets with them? The answers may still be hidden beneath the jungle, waiting to be uncovered. Until then, the mystery of the Mayans remains one of history's greatest enigmas. For centuries, Atlantis has remained one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. Described by the Greek philosopher Plato over 2,000 years ago, Atlantis was said to be a magnificent, highly advanced civilization, one that thrived for thousands of years before it was wiped out in a single day and night, sinking beneath the ocean and vanishing without a trace. But was Atlantis just a philosophical allegory, or did it actually exist? Could this lost civilization have possessed knowledge and technology that far surpassed what we understand today? According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful and highly sophisticated society that existed around 9,600 BCE, far older than any known civilization. It was said to be a vast island nation, larger than Libya and Asia combined, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. Home to technological marvels including grand temples, palaces, and complex irrigation systems that seemed almost futuristic. Governed by a wise and enlightened ruling class that maintained balance between power, spirituality, and nature. In possession of immense naval power, capable of influencing lands far beyond its borders. The heart of Atlantis was said to have a massive temple dedicated to Poseidon, surrounded by concentric rings of land and water, with bridges connecting each section of the city. Atlantean engineers were believed to have mastered energy, metallurgy, and architecture beyond what we consider possible for ancient civilizations. But then, according to legend, Atlantis was destroyed overnight, swallowed by the ocean in a cataclysmic event. What could have caused the downfall of such an advanced society? A natural catastrophe, earthquake, tsunami, or volcanic eruption. Some believe Atlantis was real but was destroyed by a massive natural disaster. The eruption of the Thera volcano, Santorini, around 1600 BC, wiped out the Minoan civilization, leading some to speculate that the Minoans were the true Atlanteans. Others suggest an earthquake or tsunami could have submerged the landmass, just as rising sea levels have swallowed ancient cities like Dwarka in India and Yonaguni in Japan. An advanced civilization destroyed by its own hubris, Plato describes Atlantis as a society that once thrived but became corrupt and power-hungry. Some believe Atlantis might have had advanced technology or weaponry, perhaps even energy systems that backfired. Could they have experimented with forces they couldn't control, leading to their own downfall? Atlantis was an alien or extraterrestrial colony. Some theorists suggest that Atlantis was not just a human civilization, but may have had extraterrestrial origins. The Atlanteans were described as possessing immense wisdom and technology, including knowledge of energy manipulation, anti-gravity, and even interstellar travel. Could they have been a hybrid race, part of a greater cosmic experiment that ended in disaster? Atlantis never sank. It's simply hidden. Many believe that Atlantis never disappeared. It was hidden. Theories suggest it could be buried under the Antarctic ice, lost beneath the Caribbean, or hidden deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Some even speculate that the Azores Islands are the last remnants of Atlantis, as their location fits Plato's descriptions. Even if Atlantis itself is lost, could its knowledge have survived in other ancient civilizations? Some researchers believe that remnants of Atlantean wisdom can be found in ancient Egypt. Many believe that the Hall of Records hidden beneath the Sphinx contains Atlantean knowledge. Some even speculate that Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, was an Atlantean priest-king who passed on their sacred teachings. The Mayans and Aztecs, legends of their gods descending from the sky, bear striking similarities to the stories of Atlantis. Hindu texts, the Mahabharata and Ramayana, speak of advanced flying machines, vimanas, energy weapons, and lost cities beneath the ocean, paralleling Plato's description of Atlantis. Could it be that the Atlanteans fled before their destruction, spreading their knowledge across the world? The biggest question remains: if Atlantis truly existed, why is there no mainstream acceptance of its history? Some researchers believe that evidence of Atlantis has been found but deliberately hidden. If Atlantis had knowledge of free energy, ancient power sources, or even extraterrestrial contact, could there be forces at play that don't want this information revealed? Dating back to 9600 BCE, Göbekli Tepe is at least 12,000 years old, which means it was built 7,000 years before the Great Pyramid of Giza and 6,000 years before Stonehenge. According to mainstream history, humans at that time were primitive hunter-gatherers with no knowledge of construction, cities, or organized religion. Yet, Göbekli Tepe proves otherwise. The site consists of massive stone pillars, some towering over 20 feet, 6 meters, high and weighing up to 50 tons. These stones were arranged in precise circular formations, suggesting advanced architectural and astronomical knowledge. The site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE for reasons still unknown. But here's where it gets even more mysterious. Göbekli Tepe's discovery directly contradicts the mainstream historical narrative. If humans were only hunter-gatherers at the time, how did they possess the knowledge and skills to build such a complex site? Some researchers suggest that it was built by an unknown advanced civilization that disappeared, leaving only this mysterious temple behind. Others speculate that Göbekli Tepe was a spiritual or ritualistic site, possibly a gateway to the gods, or something beyond human understanding. One of the most perplexing aspects of Göbekli Tepe is that it was deliberately covered with tons of soil around 8000 BCE. But why? Some believe it was an act of preservation, as if the builders wanted to protect it from something. Others think it was an attempt to erase knowledge, to hide something that humanity wasn't meant to remember. Could it be that a great cataclysm was coming, and the builders knew it? Was this an attempt to safeguard ancient knowledge for future generations? Emerging around 4500 BCE in what is now modern-day Iraq, the Sumerians built massive cities, developed the first known writing system, cuneiform, and had a deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and law. But perhaps their greatest mystery lies in their connection to the Anunnaki, powerful beings they claim descended from the heavens. According to Sumerian mythology, civilization wasn't built by humans alone. Their ancient texts speak of powerful beings called the Anunnaki, which translates to those who from heaven to earth came. The Sumerians believed the Anunnaki descended from the sky and played a direct role in shaping human civilization. Some texts suggest that these beings taught humans agriculture, writing, and metallurgy, effectively jump-starting civilization. The ancient Sumerians depicted the Anunnaki as tall, godlike figures, often wearing elaborate helmets and robes. But the most controversial theory comes from translations of the Enuma Elish, an ancient Sumerian creation myth. Some researchers believe this text describes the Anunnaki genetically engineering early humans. By 1900 BC, the great cities of Sumer were abandoned. The people who created the first great civilization in human history were gone. But why? Some historians blame climate change and drought, which made it impossible to grow food. Others suggest invasions by rival empires, like the Babylonians, wiped out Sumerian culture. But alternative theories suggest that the Anunnaki themselves left, causing the rapid collapse of the civilization they had nurtured. If the Sumerians were merely a primitive people, their advanced knowledge of space, mathematics, and engineering makes little sense. If they were guided by the Anunnaki, who or what were they really? The deeper we dig into ancient history, the more we realize how much we don't know. How did the Sumerians acquire knowledge of astronomy before telescopes? Why do their ancient texts sound eerily similar to modern-day theories of genetic engineering? And if the Anunnaki were real, where did they go? Some believe the truth is hidden in untranslated cuneiform tablets, waiting to be uncovered. Others think modern history deliberately ignores the mysteries of the past. But one thing is certain, the Sumerians knew something that we don't, and if we can unlock their secrets, we might finally understand our true origins. The Nabateans were a mysterious and highly skilled civilization that thrived over 2,000 years ago. They were once nomads traveling across the Arabian desert, but at some point, they settled and built one of the most advanced cities in the ancient world: water in the desert. The Nabateans developed an ingenious water management system, carving underground cisterns and reservoirs into the rocks. Even in the harshest droughts, Petra had a steady water supply, allowing the city to flourish in an otherwise uninhabitable environment. Advanced trade network. They controlled major trade routes, dealing in spices, silk, and incense, making them one of the wealthiest civilizations of their time. Mysterious language and writing. Unlike the Greeks or Romans, the Nabateans left behind very few written records. Most of what we know comes from outside sources, raising speculation, where they deliberately erase from history. One of the most striking features of Petra is how it was built. The Nabateans didn't construct buildings in the traditional sense. They carved massive structures directly into the rock cliffs. The most famous structure, Al-Khaznit, the treasury, has an intricate Greek-influenced facade, but no one knows its true purpose. Was it a tomb, a temple, or something else entirely? The monastery, Ad-Dir, is even larger and sits high in the mountains, raising the question: how did they transport materials and carve these massive structures with such precision? Some researchers believe Petra's layout aligns with astronomical events, hinting at a lost understanding of cosmic forces. At their peak, the Nabateans controlled a massive territory stretching from modern-day Jordan to parts of Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Israel. Yet by the 4th century CE, they were gone. Theories of their disappearance. Roman conquest, 106 CE. The Romans took control of Petra, but instead of destroying it, they absorbed it into their empire. However, this doesn't explain what happened to the Nabateans themselves. Natural disasters. Earthquakes devastated Petra in the 4th century, damaging much of the city's infrastructure. Did the Nabateans abandon Petra due to these disasters, mystical or secret departure? Some speculate that the Nabateans left for an unknown reason, retreating to hidden locations, possibly taking secret knowledge or treasures with them. Today, Petra stands as a silent testament to a vanished civilization, one that mastered the desert, defied nature, and then simply disappeared. Did they know something we don't? Were they forced to leave? Or is their true legacy still waiting to be discovered? History, as we know it, may only be a fragment of a much greater truth. From the lost cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Atlantis to the unexplained engineering feats of the Egyptians and Mayans, these ancient civilizations hint at knowledge and technology far beyond what we assume possible. Were they guided by lost wisdom, higher beings, or forces beyond our understanding? Did they vanish due to natural catastrophes, self-destruction, or a hidden truth deliberately buried? Perhaps the key to unlocking humanity's true past still lies beneath the sands, deep within ruins, waiting to be uncovered.